Hallo miteinander, I'm Gish86 and this is the Disappearing of Gensokyo. What we have here is a twin-stick shooter and possibly the most relevant Touhou fan game since Adventures of Scarlet Curiosity. It is available on Steam, being one of the earliest to arrive after Hidden Star in 4 seasons. There it has over 1000 reviews. It's safe to say it turned a few heads. We're going to start a new file and find out why. We have 4 difficulties to choose from. The developer recommends hard, but take it from me, they must have a very high frustration tolerance. We're better off on normal, it's no joke either. The game starts with a nice looking manga-esque cutscene. It looks good, but what happens in it is most worrisome. Outsiders with concealed faces have invaded Gensokyo and are harassing its denizens. This calls for our protagonist, bratty Tenshi Hinanai. She is such an unlikely hero, but this and Tenjo no Tempest have both made her the star. Those 2 games have no affiliation, none that I know of. Perhaps it's because Tenshi is so despicable, she keeps becoming an incident solver. We start our quest in Bhava'agra, and this initial stage serves as one big tutorial for controls and gameplay. Here's a close-up of Tenshi. Many people find the models in DOG somewhat uncanny. I'm fine with them. That's a logbook. All of those will be banished to the forum thread for this Let's Play. Who's this? The women's restroom? Oh no you don't. Smack. Right now, we can only attack with the Sword of Hiso, but this Yukuri will give us ammunition for our primary weapon. In Tenshi's case, this is a scattering blast of her signature red energy. Most twin-stick shooters have a modern setting. Comparing with them, we would have a shotgun, one with a very short range. We can also do an evasive dash, so long as we have the stamina for it. Stamina regenerates over time, but not as fast as you might wish. We have to be very mindful of our dash usage. You may be wondering what those creatures are that we are fighting. Fairies are standard fare, but you don't see the men with bags over their faces in many fan games. They are called sinsacks, and from what I know, they stand for the most awkward kind of fan. Those who are very lecherous for the Touhou girls and grossly over-sexualize them. I don't think they're especially numerous. Also yeah, those are Minecraft explosives. Anyway, the fandom likes to self-ironically joke that there are legions of sinsack fans out there. I don't know any, at least none that would go far enough to really qualify as sinsack. That was our bomb. You can hold no more than 5 of them at a time, but they're fairly easy to restock and great for decimating groups of weaker enemies. Now here's someone we've gotta meet. I said Tenshi was the protagonist of this game, but that doesn't mean she is the only character you get to play as. Our first companion is the Night Sparrow demon Mistia Lorelei, who is going to help our cause in the hopes of finding the missing Cherno. She couldn't do it on her own. The conversation makes it obvious that Mistia is not the brightest girl. Mostly in a childish and helpless way, the loud and obnoxious kind of stupid will be brought to the table by someone else. You can probably guess who. In a moment, our partner will transform into her respective ammo, once again in the form of her own Yukuri. You can only ever hold 2 weapons at any point. Equipping Mystia will not only allow us to attack with her sick guitar riffs, we can become Mystia. Those treasure boxes are just decoration. Here's a close-up of our new friend. I like the spiked collar. The whole punk rocker motif looks great on her. Tenshi's shots wouldn't be able to reach this switch, but our heavy shredding sure can. That jam is lethal. Everyone you recruit has unique primary, secondary, and bomb attacks. Mystia's abilities are themed around enemy confusion. Her damage output isn't great, yet the possibility of turning your foes against each other can make up for that. Hey, there's Iku. The messenger from the Dragon Palace will be our Colonel Roy Campbell, the codec caller who will always be with us, although not in person. She doesn't have much to say right now, just wanted to let us know she's around, more or less. The chamber we're currently in summarizes what all the pickups do. Green icons replenish one bomb, blue icons are used as currency later, red icons recharge your ammunition, and the very rare yellow icon with the letter F on it instantly maximizes your ammunition and bombs. It's obviously the best one. The signs we didn't read instruct you on what I just told you in longer words. Were you able to tell that the ground under us has started moving? That's because we're on a transport platform. This has to do with a gimmick that DOG will use many times. Look in the top right corner, it says survival. We are locked into an arena where enemies continuously spawn. The objective isn't necessarily to kill them all, but to outlast a timer. Once that's done, we could just leave. By the way, Mystia has a very unassuming bomb, we'll see it in a moment. That was it. It's an area effect that can confuse lots of enemies, so long as they're nicely clumped around you. This group here should be the last one for the arena, and a keystone takes out most of them. The first stage is about to culminate, as we discover a person you won't find in any other fan game. That's because we have an OC of sorts on our hands. I'm so sorry. This Tenshi lookalike isn't given a name yet, so I won't use the one I know she has. Mystia identifies this Tenshi as more graceful than the real one, not a smart thing to do when she's standing right next to you. Then again, I said Mystia was depicted as not very smart. Other Tenshi doesn't seem to speak our language, and where words fail, fights tend to break out. This is our first mini-boss. She has a health bar over her head, and she's gone already. How pointless. We certainly won't ever see her again, especially not as a slightly stronger than normal enemy in the upcoming levels. Mystery Tenshi is best fought from a distance. The sword wave we saw her do will be almost undodgeable if you're too close. Once we step on this cliff, stage 1 will be completed. We see the time we took, which is inconsequential unless you try a speedrun. We have made it to the Azure Fortress, which is going to be our main hub for the game. Whenever you get here, an autosave is created. That's the only way you can record your progress. Once you load your file, you will always appear right next to Iku. With main hub, I also mean that there are no enemies to fight here, just a lot of pleasant non-player characters to talk to. Right now, Iku is giving a status report to Tenshi. The sinsack infestation is all over Gensokyo. The Azure Fortress, though, is not yet affected. We in turn surprise our friend by bringing a little visitor to heaven, someone who would usually never reach the heart of Bhava'agra, Mystia. I like the reaction this leads to. Let's rub it in her face. Tenshi is being friendly. Oh, when does that ever happen? After that, we receive our two next missions, finding Cherno and investigating a crashed aircraft. Those are the two best leads we currently have on this very young and confusing incident. We also learn that to tackle these issues, we need to use the central lake. But that matter isn't too urgent. Let's look around first. Let's zoom onto Iku's model, for example. When you approach her manually, you get more conversation and a new menu. Here are all the weapons and characters we already have. You can also unlock more with enough blue icons. We can't. The 97 we have are worth almost nothing. Here's a celestial maid. We can't get a good look at her because the lamppost is in the way. What she had to say was pretty dumb and irrelevant. The next one is going to be more helpful and easier to get a close-up of. She reminds us that the central lake is just up ahead, like Iku told us. The dialogue of the Maids of Heaven doesn't change over the course of the game, but other residents like Mistia will move around and have new subjects to talk about after almost every level. I think what we're going to do for this Let's Play is we'll have the scouting of our home base at the end of each video. I think more of you will be interested in the action sequences rather than reading the dialogue, so we'll always have the hunting for story and NPCs afterwards. I myself appreciate these slow, relaxing portions of the game where you chat up folk and take in the scenery, but I'm aware it might not be for everybody. If you're here for the magic and explosions, that is perfectly fair. Some of the Celestials of Bhava'agra don't have matching models and artwork. For this one they happen to be identical, but if we go over here to the south, the missus with blue hair suddenly becomes heaven-made orange. That's one way to save time and cost. What a pleasant picnic spot though, with peaches already on the table. Okay, that should have been all the NPCs we can meet right now. I'm Gesh86, this was our pilot episode for the Disappearing of Gensokyo, and next time, temples cannot fly. Or can they? Bis bald!